you guys, what is up? My name is Josie Bunn, and today I have a capsule wardrobe video for you guys. This is my first one. Now, to my knowledge, typically a capsule wardrobe is cultivated to avoid decision fatigue. Most, if not all of the pieces are supposed to be perfectly interchangeable, all being within the same or similar, usually but not always neutral color families and alternating silhouettes that achieve a collection of items that can all be seamlessly paired with one another. They can also be looked at as a form of minimalism that is sustainable as well as self-serving because it saves room in your wallet as well as the physical space of your closet, and can be beneficial for people who move often or travel, or people who simply want to save on closet space without sacrificing their style. This beautiful oversized Calvin Klein rib knit sweater is a Marshall's find because who doesn't love a striped sweater in the wintertime? Couldn't resist. I love how cozy the sweater looks with the slightest bishop sleeve. It makes it a little more visually interesting than just a regular striped sweater in my opinion. The slight mock neck is also really flattering and comfortable on my neckline, and I usually love a shorter silhouette when it comes to my tops. So typically with this one, I'll tuck it into the bottom band of my bra to give it a more cropped look, and I also love how that makes it sort of bubble out a bit at the bottom to match the sort of bubbled sleeve look. To me, it looks so cute and fits in so well with the rest of the pieces because for the skirts I can also tuck this just into the band and it sort of gives that same effect. This Forever 21 find was included for its spice brown tone to warm up the whole capsule a bit as it was feeling kind of cold, and I think this time of year requires at least a little bit of those more comforting colors injected into our wardrobes to lessen the harsh and stark white that blankets the Midwest every single year. Can you tell I love a good rib knit as well? This is a much wider knit, and I love that you can see the details of each of the loops that was used to create this sweater. I do really like that the sweater is a little boxier of a fit too. I think the width really complements the shorter hemline, making this piece really versatile and perfect for my winter capsule wardrobe. This light ribbed gray sweater was originally by Newport News, which I believe was an Avon brand clothing company that was available through a catalog in the early 2000s. This sweater is this really beautiful stone gray color with a really defined ribbed pattern, and I think this is really trendy with the resurgence of Y2K fashion, but I think this remains a really classic silhouette for winter style. This piece is another great one because it's 100% cotton, which is a really great material, especially for Avon. I love how sleek this looks layered underneath my coats, and I think it gives a very like Rachel from Friends vibe, and I really love how this pairs with everything else in this capsule. Switching over to the darker palette with the dark gray sweater, this is by far one of my favorite sweaters in my entire collection to date. This was a score from a dying Lord & Taylor in my area, and it's by the brand Aware by Vera Moda, and it's so comfortable and stylish. This is a go-to of mine, and I absolutely cannot get over how gorgeous it looks tied up at the waist, just like this to give some definition. It's just such a nice deep heathered gray as well, and this piece is just so modern and chic, and I think it's a really great building block for a collection like this. I think this is something that you can really build on, and it's just so high quality, and I think that's really the core of every capsule wardrobe is quality over quantity, right? This beautiful tan cable knit is a fisherman inspired sweater. It's a beautiful beige color in this nice thick cotton material. It's originally by the brand Basic Editions, which I'm fairly certain is a Kmart brand, if I'm not mistaken. I actually really love that because it is 100% cotton, and the details in the knit, it's a really high quality garment, and I assume that was really affordable originally, so I do hope its original owner enjoyed a few winter seasons in it before donating it. I love the fullness of the neck on this sweater too. It gives it just a little more of a luxurious feeling when it pokes out above a coat lapel without the choking feeling of a regular turtleneck, and I wanted to make sure every sweater I included had something a little bit special about it. If I were going to stick to a neutral color palette, I wanted everything to have just something to make it stand out, be it a really good brand, a really good material, or just an interesting detail about the actual sweater itself. I am so enamored with vintage finds like this one. The amount of detail while still being comfortable to wear is something that I value intrinsically with these kinds of finds. I picked this piece specifically for its neutral color palette combined with these finer details and sort of flashier look, because I feel like a lot of people think things in a capsule wardrobe have to be excruciatingly boring in order to match everything else. But I think this goes with every single bottom in my entire closet, not just in this capsule, so I think it's a perfect piece to fill in some of the gaps and add a little formality where there was none before. I wanted to include this last piece at the tail end of sweaters because it's not quite a sweater. Obviously, as you can see, it is sleeveless, but I wanted to include it because this is another great layering piece. It's really nice underneath those heavier coats when you're going somewhere and you know it's going to be warm inside. For my extremely downsized coat collection, and I'm talking extreme here, I own a lot of coats, I have included each of the following that I think are not only super trendy right now, but also really timeless in terms of their style and silhouette, and these will be great pieces I have for as long as they fit me and are amazing, mostly vintage and super quality items. This full-length tan jacket is a fine leather by Kenneth Cole that I thrifted, and the color, you guys, this baffles me that I got so lucky to snag this for like the $10 price or whatever ridiculous price it was when I haven't seen this coat online for under $100. It's definitely something I've seen in magazines and photos online, and the fact it's thrifted just makes it so much more special to me. This pairs so nicely with my brown and warmer toned items when I still want that sleek, modern, long coat look. It definitely is really easy to style because of how blank a canvas it is, while also being of such a nice material and quality that it elevates whatever is underneath it. Even with a white tee and jeans, this would look phenomenal. So of course I had to include it in this capsule wardrobe because of course it looks phenomenal with every single item that you're seeing on screen. I also have 2 wool coats in this collection for those blizzarding days. The first being this beautiful, chunky, oversized chocolate brown wool coat by Paul Levy. I love this coat because it's by far the warmest in this collection and it's so sophisticated. I love an oversized long coat. It makes me feel like those dainty little old school Hollywood movie stars with those oversized wraps. Not to mention, it still keeps me cozy while looking great. And also, because it's the tiniest bit large for me, I can layer up on my especially bulky pieces underneath this. So this is just a really great coat for a lot of reasons. You guys actually got to watch me find this vintage Neiman Marcus coat that I got for, again, $10 when I'm sure it sold originally for what was probably at least $1,000 in today's money. It's so structured, and the cream and pinkish mauve grid pattern feel exceptionally modern for what I'm sure its time was, like at least a few decades ago, and this coat is just fantastic. I think this one is much softer and girlier than my other options, so I like that element along with the more pared down ivory shade that this coat is. It's nice to not have all stark white and to have something a little warmer in tone that's not exactly the tannish beige color that the Kenneth Cole jacket is. It's just another nice way to include a pattern as well, something that is not too crowded, not too busy. The second modern coat in this collection is this beautiful, stunning, if you will, phenomenal gray, black, and red plaid number by the brand Something Navy. Of course, you guys know I didn't pay full price for this, even if it's also the only coat that wasn't technically thrifted. So I picked this out at a Nordstrom rack around 4 years ago, and it's kept me company everywhere I've traveled since I got it. I bring this everywhere with me. It's long and warm, and it has great movement when you walk, and the dark color and tightness of the pattern make it a perfect neutral while also offering just a little bit of visual interest that won't compete with anything more dramatic that you layer underneath, which again I really like about sort of pattern mixing and things like that, is you can really do it pretty effortlessly. Now, you guys know I'm not opposed to some really dramatic pattern mixing, but if you are new to it and if you are creating sort of a more capsule wardrobe focused rack of clothes, I think the easiest way to do pattern mixing is to have things like this in your wardrobe where it's not so over the top that from far away it looks printed, because I could put this with any other print and I think it would look just as sophisticated, just as elevated as it would if I paired it with something completely plain, because that pattern is so dark and minimal. I think from far away this just comes off as like a grayish black coat and not, you know, a plaid or gingham coat. So I did want to include that in the capsule wardrobe. I wanted to include 2 pattern coats and 2 completely blank canvases just to really create some interesting outfits for this video. I wanted something a little more special, especially since I was working with a neutral color palette. For bottoms, I do have 2 predominantly featured in this video. I did have more, I'd like to side note, but the footage got totally corrupted. It was completely unusable, so this is what you're getting. I'm sorry. One of my favorite versatile wardrobe essentials is a black leather skirt. I prefer to opt for genuine leather, which I have always found in abundance at my local thrift stores because it really locks in body heat and actually insulates you during the colder months while looking extremely upscale and expensive, because it used to be. And you guys know I like a little bit of edge to my outfits, and leather is a really easy way to add that to any outfit. Now this black and white wool skirt is absolutely incredible. I believe this was a Poshmark find, and oh my gosh, do I love it absolutely so much. Look at how well it pairs with just every single outfit. I think this is one of those pieces that really does look good with everything you put it with, and it's so thick and durable and comfortable. It's one of those wrap skirts that buttons in the front, and I love that I can opt to show a little more leg or leave it as a full-length skirt, depending on where I let the skirt lay on my frame. And the bold print mixes so well with the other prints. The black and white color palette pairs well with everything else. Just everything about this skirt is so universally attractive, especially within this capsule wardrobe. This beautiful number that you are seeing right now is actually this gorgeous black and white, very modern pleated dress that I've gone ahead and I've layered over top of. So as you can see, you can really take anything in your wardrobe and make it into something else. I really love doing this, where you just take a dress and you put stuff over top of it and suddenly it's winter friendly. It's one of my favorite things to do with these really summery maxi dresses. It's actually a tank dress under here. So it's really great that I can actually spread this out and make it not only part of my summer wardrobe, but part of my winter. I do want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I know it is late, but I have been going through a little bit of a health struggle lately, as well as just a mad dash for the holidays. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Stay well until then. Bye!